Spotlight on Success presents Sunlight Gardens and Pharmacy, Part 2.
What kind of things do you hope that your movement inspires others to?
I hope it inspires more farmers, truthfully. I hope it inspires more farmers to, young boys and girls to look at farming differently, you know what I mean? And get into our food system and understand, in a sense, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. So if we keep eating fast food, unhealthy stuff shipped all the way across the country from California, Mexico, overseas, it has an effect on our health. Not only of our personal health, but our soil too, right? And I'm thinking about the next generation, the Native Americans, I think 3 generations ahead.
Yeah.
Thinking like that, if we keep going on the path that we are now, we're destroying our soil. And you were talking about a little bit earlier, the autism rates and the different kind of illnesses that are becoming more prevalent. It all ties back to what we eat and how we do agriculture. I hope it inspires people to look at the food system differently, take farming seriously. I mean, even as I grew up around, and I saw a lot of things that I shouldn't have seen at a young age. We'll just say that. A lot of people, they think the only way to make it out is to do criminal activities, right? To make money, to get ahead in life, I want them to look at farming as a way to go. Because I believe it got me out. You know what I mean? I really believe it is a way to create abundance and generational wealth while doing something good for others and the planet too. Yeah. I hope that we can, I'm ambitious. I have some big goals of, lowering the rate of diabetes. I think if this work of the workforce development program, we're calling it Project Feast, if this goes how we want it to go, when it goes how we want it to go, I think Battle Creek could be a place where people have the longest life expectancy in the country. Yeah. I think we can have the lowest rate of diet-related illnesses in the country. And I think that, to be real, through eating more electric foods, like real food, healthy food, we will be able to make more money. We'll be able to, because we'll have more energy. You know what I mean? We will have more drive. Yeah, we'll have more abundance in general. And so, yeah, I hope that it can just inspire all that.
Yeah. Like I talked about earlier, I really do I don't want to just say I admire your movement that you have behind, your business. You're not just doing it to do it. I feel like a lot of people get into stuff just to do it nowadays.
For sure. Especially
because there's niches. I know people that are in health and fitness, but they're not in natural health and fitness. It's all this chemical stuff pushing and things like that. So it's nice to see someone that's not just driving for themselves. Because I know you say you do it because you love it, but you're also doing it for your community.
Most definitely. And
you have plans, greater plans than just something small. So that's very motivational and inspirational. And I feel like that's something awesome and to be proud of, especially.
I could have probably been a lot further ahead, because I appreciate you saying that. And what you're saying is so real. And, I could have been a lot further ahead if I sold car insurance or, you know what I mean? It's a lot of quick ways to make money. But I think the purpose in what you do is meaningful. And so yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And I appreciate you doing things like this. This is dope. Being willing to shine a spotlight on others. Yeah, doing something positive. You see so much negativity everywhere on social media, the news, whatever. And so I think it's refreshing what you do too.
Thank you.
For sure.
Did you have people who supported your ideas before you had the chance to implement them, or was it something that you kind of had it as a set personal thing, and you didn't really like talk about it till you got into it?
Wow. You know, I did have a lot of people that supported me. I think I wish I had more support, to be real with you. I wish I had more support. It's kind of like we were saying, we're so disconnected from our nature, from agriculture and everything. So when I started getting into this, it was almost like surprising to a lot of people, even my parents, right? They're like, you want to be, You want to do farming? You know what I mean? Not to say they were ever against it or anything. Like, they're very supportive of me to this day. But it's like, I'm a first generation farmer, right? Like, so I don't know the exact statistics, but it's like 80% of farmers, they are, they're like, yes, they've been farming for generations. They're just taking over the family farm, or they are, they have kind of been just passed down the family business, so to speak. So it was like hard to make my way in it. Even when I first got started, it was a lot of nonprofit farms. And people who work in nonprofits, sometimes there's a lot of great nonprofits, don't get me wrong, but sometimes people have ulterior motives, right? Or they, in a way, they're forced to focus on grant fundraising, right? Because and when you're a nonprofit, that's where you make your money at, is the grants and things like that. So yeah, it was difficult, and to kind of find my lane. I feel like what we do now is almost like a blend of for-profit, and we do some nonprofit stuff too, with the education side of things and things like that. But yeah, it's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard, and I wish I had more support. But that being said, there were some great farmers, and that's one thing about farmers that I've met. No matter what their background, white, black, a lot of farmers are white, right? I guess black farmers are very rare to come across. They're very accepting. Even though, I don't come from where they come from, I'm farming on 2 acres, they're probably farming on 2,000, whatever. We both are growing food for our communities. And so I think just that commonality between us is that's what they care about. And they always have embraced me with open arms. So the Michigan Farmers Union, I recently became on their board of directors. Welcomed me with open arms. One of the first for-profit farms that I worked with. And even the nonprofit farm I worked with, Sprout, in the beginning, they really welcomed me. They said, oh, this kid, wants to do farming, that's cool, let's embrace him. And they embraced me. The for-profit farm I worked on, which is now called Of the Land, kind of towards Marshall. They do weddings and stuff, but they still grow food. But he really embraced me too, and my coworkers there embraced me, taught me how to cook. Actually, I didn't know how to really cook from scratch until I worked there, and a woman named Christina and her husband brought me to their house. They saw me eating peanut butter and jelly at lunch. It was yo, you are growing all this food, you need to learn how to cook this.
Yeah.
And so, they brought me to their house, showed me how to cook a stir fry. Changed my life, as funny as it sounds. So it's people like that along the journey I'm so grateful for and thankful for. Even now, one of my mentors, Joe Scrimger, this dude is a soil genius. You should do a podcast on him one day. He can trace the rising infertility rates in our society, autism and all this, right back to agriculture and the chemicals that we use for spray. And things he always says connecting the dots. This dude is brilliant. But yeah, people like him, and then my team that I've built here, they show up to work every day. Might not always be on time. I'll be having to get on sometimes, you know what I mean? But they are so dope. We are learning together. Just I had to gain a lot of new skills and stuff. They've had to gain a ton of new skill sets, and the dedication that I have, I see the same thing in them. They're dedicated to this. They want to push the movement forward just like I do. So Jerry, Carl, Enrique, we got a intern right now named Meg from KVCC. Just dope individuals who I couldn't do none of this shit without them, to be real with you. You know, I started off like, yeah, it's hard. Of course, you always wish you had more support, right? But at the end of the day, like, I'm infinitely thankful for the support that I have, like, truly thankful for everybody that's even, whatever, said, like, congratulations, shared a post, liked it. And that's the other thing, like, the community and, like, has been very supportive in that way, too. They share the post, they come to the events, they heart and stuff, like, even that stuff, you know, it's little whatever. To me, it's meaningful. It means a lot. It means a lot.
I feel like support, like that, having a good support team keeps you going, even when it doesn't feel like, I don't want to say not worth it, but when you're drained and you're like, oh, like this is hard, having people that stand by you and they believe in you, it gives you that kick that you need and that boost that you need.
It's so important. It's so important. And that family and, like, you know, even our extended family, however it is, you know, that's like, I've realized over time how important that support really is.
Especially with a thing like this, like it's not a small restricted idea. You know, you didn't just leave it at farming. You know, you decided to grow from that. And like you said, it was challenging at first, and but you've gotten through the adversities, and you're still working through that. So
For sure.
yeah, that's what builds character, and that's what successful people they have those traits. So
Most definitely. When I say it was blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point, it really was. All three of them, like, literally, like, I remember even last year, like, I busted my finger open, busted my head, had to go to the hospital. Like, it's been a lot of bumps in a row. But like you said, like, when I did that, my boy Jerry was here. He took me to the hospital. You know what I mean? Like, it's just little things like that. Like, I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's what you're saying is so true. Like, you have to. Anything worth doing is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a walk through the park. Like, you gotta go through some shit. But I believe it's gonna pay off. You know?
yeah, I think it is. You're already inspiring people. You know, you have the community members that they volunteer and they back you.
For sure.
You know? It's just really, I think, getting the word out there on what you're trying to do and like how you're trying to build off of what you have. So, yeah. What are some goals that you have set for 2025?
For 2025, a lot. So, getting the store, we got to get our EBT back up and going. So we used to accept EBT, we had to reapply, so we're just waiting on that. Doing smoothies and salads fresh in the store. So Carl's gonna be making the menu, and we're gonna be having fresh smoothies and salads available. We just got our food handling license recently to do cold prepared food, so smoothie salads, sandwiches, whatever. So that's kind of what the store. The farm. I really want our intern to learn a lot this year. She's super motivated and dope. So I want her to have a good experience here. I want just our team to lock in and just improve the soil quality even more than we have. You can like see it. We can walk around, or when people come to Sunlight Gardens, you'll see like the soil that we have now is so loam. That's what we call like really rich soil. It's so loam. It came a long way from when we first got this property. Like, it was like rocky, sandy, and now it's just this rich black earth. A seed falls out of your pocket and it's gonna sprout up. Like, it's just very rich.
You know, composting with mushroom.
You see that?
Yeah, I really did. I was like, okay.
For sure, yeah, we take it seriously. So that's a big goal. And then the composting operation, getting the composting operation up and running. We just started selling compost. Right now it's kind of in a pilot phase, like we're selling it to community members and to volunteers and stuff. But the idea is like people can actually come here, buy a bag of compost. That's a big one. And the other one I can think of off top is making Project Feast one of the best projects that has ever existed. Straight up. One of the best programs when it comes to workforce development, and getting kids into food system careers, we are going for excellence, and we want this to be top tier program, unmatched, like one of the best in the country. So that's what we're working towards.
Great goals. Great goals. So do you do any work with like other local businesses? Kind of where maybe you guys benefit from each other, or you guys help each other like impact wise?
Definitely, yeah. So we work restaurants. We work with Torty Taco. It's like
Yeah, I think I see that.
it's a taco shop. They used to have a restaurant downtown. They now they just have their Beckley location. They buy stuff from us, and then like we do events here where we will have them cater for us. Javier, the owner of that, we actually started our businesses around the same time as each other. And he's just been a really dope like friend, mentor, brother. So yeah, we're locked in. We always, whatever we can work together, we do. Kitchen Proper, which is a restaurant downtown. Chef Tony from there, super dope individual, amazing chef. He makes really incredible. I think they're the best, probably the best restaurant in Battle Creek when it comes to just like high-end cuisine, high-end food. So Tony at Kitchen Proper. We used to do a lot of work with Umami Ramen. They kind of retired out of the game, but we're still in partnership with them. She's really, Bakun is a very inspirational, one of those people in my support group as well. So that's kind of the restaurant side of things. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. And then when it comes to local businesses, we partner, so like with some local churches, we'll have like events, do a lot of local church things. I actually co-founded a event called Earth Week in the Creek, and this year was the first year we actually did a week long of events. So during Earth Day was like a Friday or whatever, but that whole week we had parties, different things going on that whole week.
Thanks, I missed it.
Hey, next year. It's not too
next
late.
year.
We gotta do something. We do a live podcast or something next year.
Yeah.
We have a big party here for that too. That's like in collaboration with my boy Colin, who is he runs a church, and then Felicia, who is also just a really dope individual. So that's the one. And then we have some bigger partnerships with Kellogg's, which they've now kind of split into Kellanova. They split their company up. But anyway, they're super dope. They sent out, so like that video where they sent 100 people out to the farm.
Oh yeah.
That was Kellogg's. So they send out volunteer groups a lot, and really, really thankful for them. Duncan Aviation has sent out groups of folks before. So that's been one of the really cool things, is just like building these relationships with other businesses. You know, I think it's mutually beneficial. We just had a group of Kellogg volunteers out last week, and they're like thankful because they work in an office a lot. You know what I mean? There's an office, type in, whatever they do, working hard, but it's nice for them to get outside and get some fresh air, be on the farm. And for us, it's nice to have some extra hands to move mulch, break down mushroom blocks, plant if we have to. So I think it's really mutually beneficial. And I think when people are starting up their business, like that's why I think it's dope what you're doing as well. Like getting the word out about other businesses, what's out there, because when we work together as businesses, like it's a win-win.
Makes them stronger, I feel like, especially local businesses having to compete with all these large corporations and things like that. I've had people try to convince me to do work with larger corporations, or even like, I don't even feel comfortable doing, what do they call it? Like when it's a large corporation, but it's a smaller group, you know what I'm talking about? A franchise.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
I don't even feel comfortable like trying to do franchises, because I just don't want to be associated with them larger names. They already have enough when it comes to promotion. And like the ads on TV, radio ads, like all that stuff is already in front of our face, and they're already making a lot of money. My goal is to show like smaller businesses, or like more homegrown businesses, don't want to say small because, you know, they might seem small, but they're big ideas.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
And like you not just use them, but have them as an example to other people to start more local businesses, to start more of something the community can rely on rather than these big companies that are money hungry.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of how we used to be when there were more like farmers markets and more like local, like, you know, you had a local tailor that was fixing your clothes, or you know, you have people that specialize in things, these handcrafted things, and now we don't have that. Everything's like fast fashion, or, you know, everybody's buying the same pieces of furniture at Walmart instead of going, you know, that's going to break in so many months versus
Right.
spending the money that's worth it of somebody who's spent their life crafting those items.
Yeah.
But the more that we talk about it, the more that we make this like a mainstream, it becomes the idea that's in people's minds rather than what they're force fed all the time.
Straight up. Yeah, I love that. Like, it's so true. And it's sad that a lot of, like, especially kids, even people our age and older, like, we don't know what real, genuine leather feels like, you know what I'm saying? Or like some real, you know, you go get like a cake or some cookies or something, like actually baked with love with somebody that cares about it, not just mass producing it for this or that. So it's like what you just said, going back, like, this is a big problem with our society. We got so disconnected from nature. We lost our trades, men and women. We lost our skills. That's real community. Like, what I feel like what you were describing there, that's real community. You have the baker, you have the butcher, you know, you got the farmer, you got the clothes, somebody who's real sweet with the clothes and making fashion and stuff. We lost a lot of that to Walmart. You know what I mean? You go to Walmart, you can go get your brakes done while you grabbing a cake and getting some new clothes, and like,
That's where that mindset where they convince you that it's convenient.
yes.
It's like they put it all
Yes.
together, they put it in your face, but really, it's to me, it's a distraction. You know, it's overwhelming too. Like, I know personally, I don't like to spend too much time in the store because why am I looking at something I don't need?
For real, I can't stand looking
Like,
for something. You can't even find what you came in there for.
Exactly,
A lot of
yeah.
times.
I like to go to like all these like smaller
All these
grocery stores. They don't have, I mean, they have a farmer's market around me, which is nice. I do go there. But they, you know, they're limited on the produce that they have.
and it's one day a week,
Yeah.
early in the morning, like it's not
Yeah.
accessible.
But when we have things like this, where it's like healthy but at a conveniency,
Straight up.
it gives people more of a concept of, oh, like I do have other options, you know? And you were saying that earlier, like when you came into the community, it gave people other options.
Right, because do you feel like we should trade convenience for, well, like, our health and like kind of how we have it now?
Yeah, definitely.
That's okay. Yeah, that's
Like, I know me personally, like I became a health fanatic. One, my dad is from the Middle East. He's from overseas. They don't have all this bull crap here.
Word,
Like,
okay.
so food is different. Like my dad, growing up, my dad was very, and I'm into holistic health now. So my dad was very adamant about like the food you eat affect your body. You know, my dad is 63 years old, and you would think he's like in his 30s. He is such a healthy man.
Wow.
Like he barely ever gets sick. And I know like some of it's genetics, but also like my dad's drinking herbal coffee every morning with like cinnamon and turmeric, and like he's putting all this stuff in his coffee and ginger. And I remember him making me drink it when I would get sick, and I used to be like, "This is nasty. Like, why would you do this to yourself?"
Right.
But then when I took away what I was, not hypnotized, but like convinced about food.
Yeah.
I started eating from a different perspective, and I was like, I'm eating this because it makes my body feel good overall. Like, I learned that everything is an acquired taste. Like,
Sure.
I used to hate onions. I'll eat an onion raw now. Like, I love onions.
Right.
Ginger. I used to hate ginger. Now, like, please give me a ginger shot if I'm not feeling good. Because I know, like, it makes my body feel good. And
I'm drinking a sea moss drink right now. You know what I mean?
okay.
You know, like,
Yeah, I grabbed me one of these because it looked good. I love turmeric and I love carrot juice.
Okay,
So
let's go.
I'm like, let me try it. It tastes delicious.
Is it good? It tastes
yeah,
good?
it
Okay.
tastes delicious.
That's
I love it.
up.
But I do stuff like I make my own beet juice at home. I gotta buy a new juicer, but I really did change the way that I thought about food. I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same. Like since I become a mom too, I'm very adamant with implementing the importance of food with my son because I feel like that's where it starts. People, they let their kids have all these things and they don't realize, well, if it's not accessible to them, then they're not gonna cry and beg for it and say like, oh, that's all they'll eat.
Yes. Yeah.
And especially at a young age, because I definitely researched. I know like a lot of adults have texture issues because they were on baby food for too long, or like a lot of adults, they don't ever acquire a taste for vegetables because all they were given was sweet baby food all the time,
Yeah.
And I used to make my son. I make my son his own baby food. I'm boiling the carrots. I'm doing that, yeah, because I was very cautious, especially with it was around right before COVID when I had my son, and then they had like all the recalls on baby formula and baby food and stuff like that.
All the heavy
and
metals
I was
and bullshit.
yes, and I was so glad. Like, I mean, I know like it's not an ability for all women, but breastfeeding, like that is something beautiful that in society nowadays it's like, oh, you're breastfeeding. Like, I think that's the best chance you can start off your baby with.
That's the best. That's the best thing you can do.
Yes, for sure. And with the research and stuff showing how it can affect your child's brain and put them ahead, just even having a little bit of breast milk or colostrum, like it really does make a difference. And I really do agree with we've moved far away from what's natural to us, and we've been kind of brainwashed into, what did you call it?
Biophobia.
Biophobia, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear young moms like say that, because you're right. Like a lot of people, work, stress, this, in their own issues, they give in to anything. Oh well, I'm gonna just hit the dollar menu and I'm gonna do this and that. And like, don't get me wrong, I grew up eating that shit, so like I get it. You can't always make your own baby food. You make your own baby food. That's inspiring. That's dope. But like, that's what people should be aiming for.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying everybody will be able to do exactly that, but like,
even if you have like, places like this in the community, say they, you guys happen to do that, make baby food at some point. People are gonna be like, oh wow, well I know where the food is coming from. I know that this isn't, filled with pesticides or chemicals.
You just gave me a good idea.
Sorry.
I'm like,
but you're opening up new concepts to people when they're like, yeah, it's a new idea and it's a new space, and like it builds more trust with you in the community too, because they're able to be like, I can for sure, if the regular stores are out of baby food because they get a recall, oh, we can go over to Farmer Mom's place and get something from the pharmacy. Like they got stuff there. Like that's a big deal to me.
It definitely is. And you said it, like people get caught in that trap of like, oh, well, my kid always asks for this. Mine's for mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, and all this. But a lot of times that's, like you said, we don't have another option. So I think that, like I said, you just gave me a real good idea. Like that's so true. Part of the reason why we do this, we need more options. And it's not even like, I don't expect people to come here 100% of the time to get everything they need, but it's like, start, just think about us. Maybe before you go to Meijer or Walmart, come here. See if you can, straight up, see what you get in season from Michigan, organic. see if you can get it. We might not have, we're a smaller store, we might not have everything, but if you get 50% of your stuff local and fresh and organic, and then the other 50%, that could be that could actually add years to your life.
Yeah.
And then the years that you are here living this life could be better, right? You can have more energy, not feeling sick, not your body not breaking down with cancer and this and that. A little bit goes a long way.
I also think too, you're mentioning you guys kind of do like cooking workshops and stuff like that too. People not realizing there's other options to what they're taught food is supposed to be. I know. I like that you told me. What did you say his name was?
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
That he's a vegan chef. That's cool. I like looking into vegan recipes because it gives you a different perspective on what food you can eat. And like I've put my friends on sweet potato brownies for their kids, or incorporating chickpeas in their mac and cheese, like little stuff like that. I trick my son all the time into thinking he's eating something that's not good for him, and it's honestly super good. And that's how I get him to try new stuff, because I'll be like, hey, try this. He thinks it's a brownie, and I'm like, oh, it's got sweet potatoes in it. Now he wants to eat sweet potatoes.
That's
and
so cool.
like it's the little steps that we take that make a big difference for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And even like, not to like, try to make products, but like, this for example, it's hot. A lot of kids like the flaming hot Cheetos, whatever. This is like an alternative for that. Like you just said, with the brownies, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, but you didn't even realize this had sweet potato in it. Those little switches we can make. Kids love Takis, hot Cheeto. Try something. It's like, okay, you love that spicy flavor. That's really what you like. It's just that hot flavor that you're used to. Okay, try this, but the whole time you're not knowing, you're getting servings of vegetables with that, and it's a similar flavor that they're used to. So like, I think those little switches, redefining convenience, that's where we got to start putting more energy into.
100%.
And even like Skittles, that's a big thing. When even making this store, I didn't even talk about like even making this store, we designed it to look like a corner store. You know what I'm saying? So like even the shelving that we have, the products that we have, is similar to what you would get at the corner store, but it's fresh ingredients. No artificial flavors, no artificial dyes. And that was very intentional. Because like, I kind of have this philosophy of like the 3 F's. When doing this kind of work, you gotta make things fun, flavorful, and familiar. And I think that's how you can start to make some progress, because like you said, we've been brainwashed straight up to this convenience society. Everything has to be, bright colors and super flavorful and all. And like, don't get me wrong, things should be flavorful, but it should be real flavor.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be artificial flavor.
And when you get used to that natural flavor, like the artificial flavor doesn't taste good. I mean, at least in my experience,
Right.
There's a lot of things that I can't eat now. I don't even like to drink soda unless it's like a ginger ale, or like an old school root beer.
Yeah.
Like
Or
besides
like
that.
you have the prebiotic.
Or the probiotic sodas.
Yeah.
Yes. But the taste is just so, now that I've had real food, I prefer what real food tastes like. 100%. And I think that's a big problem too. And when we train our kids into that, like our children, they're wanting all this candy and all this stuff, we're stopping them from having that familiarity of what real food tastes like, what real food smells like.
Yeah, even like when I was younger, I thought I did not like a lot of fruit, because the fruit that I was getting from the grocery store, it was trash. You know what I'm saying? They harvest it early so that it can take these long journeys to get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everything in the grocery store, period, it's not designed for flavor or for nutritional benefit. It's designed for shelf stability. Straight up. They want it to sit on the shelf as long as it can, look perfect, because that's how people buy things. And they can make money if they can have something sit on the shelf and it's not going bad, right? So yeah, I mean, you made me think of it like, I used to think I didn't like cantaloupe. I used to think I didn't like blueberries. Food that I love and eat almost every day now. Some of my favorite foods now. I used to think I didn't like them because they weren't coming locally. They weren't being grown the right way. And they didn't have fresh flavor, and I was not familiar with the flavor. So I'm eating out, we got blueberries in the house. They were grown, whatever, thousands of miles away, harvested early. They don't got no flavor, no smell to them. I'm eating it. I'm like, this is nasty, Mom. Why you giving me this?
This is nasty.
Like, come on, it tastes like crunchy water, like straight up. It don't have no flavor to it. Nah, you come get some strawberries. When we get our blueberries in here, it's better than candy. It is, like you said, when you get the real version, you don't even want the artificial version no more.
Yeah.
Because it's that much better. And so I think that's something that it makes me sad, because it's like we kind of trick our children into not liking produce. And I don't blame them. Yeah, you would rather have some candy that actually is flavorful than a lot of the fruit you can get in the grocery store, because it was not grown the right way.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's sad. That's why we do. That's the part of why we do this. You know what I mean? Like, you can try the real version of it, and it's way better. Like the tomatoes that we grow compared to the tomatoes that you can get in the grocery store, it's almost not even like the same.
I can only imagine.
Fruit.
I can only imagine. I need text message alerts. You got text message alerts? Hey, we just got fresh produce in. We got this and this.
Hey,
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
We're gonna have to get that. No,
Yeah.
look, that's a great idea. We're gonna have to get that. I'm gonna let
Some
you know.
people don't have Facebook, because I do check. I do watch your Facebook sometimes.
We do post it on Facebook,
I
but
be
you're right.
seeing what's in there. This is my
Not
first time
everybody.
actually here. I was like super excited. Thankfully, I re-looked at our messages because I put the wrong day on my calendar.
Ooh.
And I'm glad that I went back and looked to like message you and tell you like, hey, checking in the week before.
That's
But really, it was a couple days before. Because I was planning on like coming in and like wanting to get some stuff and kind of like experience the store. But I don't mind it being my first time in here. I did buy some produce. I have to. Those Rice Krispie cereals look good, and some cherries and things like that. So yeah, that's exciting. Even when I pulled up, when I was like riding down the road, like I said, I didn't realize that the farm and the store were on the same.
Oh yeah,
Property.
you said that. You know they were kind of separate.
Yeah, so I was driving up and I was like, oh my gosh, like that must be the farm. Like, I got excited because I'm like,
Let's go.
you can see it. You're coming to the store and you see where your produce is being grown. And like that's a whole new experience. Like, I mean, I've been to farms and farmers markets, but for an urban area, like, being surrounded by houses, it's not out in the country in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It gives a sense of like hominess, friendliness, like this place is more comforting,
For sure.
So
That's why it's gonna be. I'm so excited when we get our smoothies and salads up and running. Cause I appreciate you saying that, and that's like it's almost unheard of. Like you could be able to, if you wanted to, you could watch us harvest the stuff from out here, come in here, clean it up, put the salad dressing on there, put it in the blender, whatever, and you can you know what I'm saying?
You're eating fresh out the garden.
Like it doesn't get fresher than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the kids who grew up with their grandparents that was gardening and stuff, and they're taking pieces out. They're like, here, try it. Here, eat it. Like nothing can compare to that. But you guys are bringing that to a local standpoint versus it being, But since I'm on that aspect, you started doing installs recently, right?
Yeah. Wow. We didn't talk about that. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I talked about it before.
I appreciate that, yeah. So yeah, we actually started that last year, and we just brought it back for this season. But yeah, that on the same point we're talking about, like, and I said in the beginning, one part of our mission, increase access to local food. What better way to increase access than to put it in your front yard? You know what I mean? Put it in your own yard. So that's the idea behind the install. So yeah, we will actually go out and work with you and we actually just made a website. So now people can get on the website and kind of put in their dimensions of how big they want to grow, and like,
I'll link the website.
good look, yeah. They'll get a quote right there, and yeah, we will install a garden fresh for you. Bring in our compost. We'll do the soil test if we have to. We will take it from grass to garden, straight up, and we will bring plants. We'll teach you about how to water it, how to take care of it, protect it from the animals and pests, like I was talking about. We also provide like the maintenance of it. If people, people busy, don't got the time or
For
the
like
knowledge.
older generation.
Yes, people exactly can't necessarily move around as well. We will do maintenance packages. So we'll come by, weed out the garden for you, make sure it's watered, make sure the row cover's on, and it's not getting ate up.
That's amazing. I hope you go back and you watch this and you give yourself a little bit more credit. Because like that's amazing.
Listen to
Like
you, that's
all
the-
this stuff that you're talking to me about, like I'm just like wow. And when we're off camera, I'm gonna tell you about this thing that I did in high school. I actually like wrote out and was gonna send it to Congress. It was like an idea about like soil and stuff like that. I think it's like, but I don't want nobody to steal my idea, so I'm gonna wait till the cameras are off.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's so inspiring and it's exciting. I know for me, like I'm kind of a little fanatic about it because it's just you don't see it everywhere.
It's
And
real. It's real.
to me, if we could build more like community things like this, there would be less. Honestly, I feel like it would lower crime rate. I feel like it give kids in the community, bigger, better ideas. They're gonna be inspired again to grow their own produce, learn to be self-sufficient, and then they're gonna have more like a longer, healthier, happier life.
Yes.
With these kinds of things in the community. Whereas when there's nothing wholesome like that, like what else left is there for people to do, besides bicker with their neighbors or like, you could just totally dislike your neighbor, but then you're like, oh, I see you're growing this and this and this. And then this other person, oh, I'm growing tomatoes. Oh, I got green beans,
Yeah.
You do a little trade-off. Sometimes you can build relationships that way too. So like you really are creating like this movement, and it's just amazing to me, honestly. Like to just start from something small as a farm, and then you're just continuously like growing. It's a snowball effect at this point.
Straight up. I appreciate you for real. And it's what you just said is I hope the effect that we are having. That's what I tell people is like, I mean, you can, get an install from Sunlight, or even just, start growing, get you a bucket, get you a pot, and just grow something. Share it with your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Start eating something that you grew. And I think people will be surprised, because I completely agree. Everything you just said about the crime rate, the amount of energy that people have. Wow, now I got energy to go start my own business, or work out, get in the gym, get my body, all those other things can really start from the seed, no pun intended, right? Like start from the seed of growing your own stuff. One big thing I like to talk about is the mental health of our people, the mental health aspect of it. When you get outside and you grow things and you eat what you grow and you share that food with your neighbor, like I love that example, you are healing yourself mentally too. We know depression in our society right now, crazy. Like people are depressed more than they've ever been, period. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it's caused too from nutrient deficiencies that we're not getting from our food.
Yeah.
So
100%.
It's all intertwined.
And people don't like to talk about it, right? Because it's embarrassing, you know. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, you should never be embarrassed to talk about your mental health. That's just real life. Everybody goes through shit. But like, I know from my own personal mental health journey, people that have family members and things that I've seen of, you know, people trying to take their own life and just how bad it can get. It's a real thing. It's a real issue that we're facing, and I just think, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here to say like farming is gonna solve every problem in the world, right? But I really do believe like it can have a big effect on it. I mean, people can look this up. It's true. If you when you put your hands in the soil, there's natural antidepressants
Grounded
in the soil.
and it puts nitrogen.
You were just grounded earlier.
When you walk on the ground, especially after a rainstorm, it helps put nitrogen into your blood.
Straight up.
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of aspects to it
It's
that
a
we
lot.
just completely lost in our country.
For real. And a person to, you know, sit inside on the computer all day or on a game or, you know, working in a warehouse all day, go home, watch TV, and then you wonder why you're sad, why you're not feeling, why, you know, oh, why do I feel so deprived? Why do I feel this?
We're living beings, right? And our food is also, you know, vegetables, living, you know.
Straight
Even
up.
people, I don't consume meat so much, but I do. You know,
Yeah.
some people aren't.
I just started
into
eating meat again. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, your food is living aspect. Even
Yep.
even people who eat animals, you gotta think about what those animals are eating.
That's undoubtedly living. Like the plants
Like-
is living too, but yeah, the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're concerned with, or you should be concerned with what these animals are eating, because I don't know about anybody else, but I learned about the energy transfer process when I was in school, and we learned about biology.
Yeah.
And how, like, you know, if whatever a mouse eats and then it gets eaten by an eagle and then a tiger eats that eagle, there's energy that's passing through each time. So for us to like not be in tune with that, yeah, definitely throws us off. It deprives us from our natural state.
Yeah. Since you brought that up, you think about a cow. They call them CAFOs, concentrated feeding operation, or just like big farms. They live their whole life in fear. They're scared. You know, they're living in a warehouse. It's dark. Some of these animals don't even get to see the sun.
Yep.
So how is, like, y'all think that you're just gonna eat that and not get any of that
It
energy?
actually does affect the taste too. The ACC, like the career center where I live at.
Yeah.
Their farmer class, I forget what it's called, the program for farming, they actually did a thing where they had people come in and we tried 2 different kinds of meat to say like which ones we thought tasted better.
Okay.
And the results of that was the cow that was raised on a homestead farm, you know, when they were fed in like free range pasture, like that one was the top voted for better tasting. So I haven't like looked into it. There's actually like super research into it, but from what I do know is like meat is tenser when it's in a stressful environment. You know?
Yeah.
Like milk is affected too. Like the taste of the milk is affected. What nutrients go into the milk is different when a cow is actually around her calf versus them being stripped away from their calf right away. You know. So yeah, it's definitely.
So you said you don't eat meat. What got you, or you don't eat a lot of meat? What kind
Yeah.
of brought you to that?
Personally, I just don't feel like it sits well with me, like in my stomach. I definitely don't eat pork at all. That's not just like culturally we don't, like my family, my dad being Middle Eastern, we don't eat pork. But I learned really quick when I did consume pork how much my body just couldn't digest it. Made my body smell weird. Made my stomach hurt. Made my face break out. My skin not good. So I cut that out completely. I do eat beef. but mostly like on a hormonal scale. So women, like when their iron's low around the point of the month or whatever, I'll eat like red meat that will help like rejuvenate if I can't make up for it and what I'm eating in fruits and vegetables. But then again, it's not like my first thing to go to. I probably like avoid meat for most of the time. I just don't. I prefer not the taste. I feel like because a lot of store-bought meats just aren't good to me. Like if I do eat meat, a lot of time it's like when I go to my dad's and he's like making a Middle Eastern meal. He goes to the Middle Eastern stores and buys the meat. So it's different.
You know it's quality.
Yeah, or actually my dad goes to local farms and he'll buy a cow. Or like him and his friend will split a cow and he will literally butcher it himself.
That's what's up.
So it's like you can definitely tell the difference in taste. It doesn't taste as tough. I feel like it cooks better because my dad has given me some of that meat, but it just hasn't been like a preference of mine. I do like whole foods, fruits and vegetables. I love how it makes my body feel, and especially like juicy. Even then, when I'm not, I don't like soda. I don't even like coffee. I like green tea.
That's what's up.
Like not sweet green tea.
Let's go.
Once I acquired that taste for just healthy, like I especially love greens. I just kind of stuck with it.
That's what's up.
For sure.
It's hard to let go when you get a good taste of it. And it sounds like your dad like kind of blessed you with that awareness of quality. That's dope. Yeah, I just asked because I'm on my journey. Like I was a vegetarian for probably 7 to 8 years, and then I more recently started eating a little bit of meat here and there because I've been working out more for the protein element of it. But being very, not to say you can't get protein from plant based because you definitely can, but it's just harder. But I do eat a little bit of meat now, but I'm very cautious of how I source it. I usually only eat the meat that we have here, or if I know like the farm that it came from, and things like that. But I just think it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't like have it out against meat or anything, but I definitely I respect people who don't eat meat because I understand. And I mean, there was points in time that I hadn't eaten meat. Even like with eggs, I stopped buying eggs for a long time, especially like after the price of eggs skyrocketed out of nowhere. But my mom had gotten chickens recently, and for the first time I've had a chicken egg fresh out the chicken.
Let's go, okay.
And I was like, I tasted it.
So she's like taking care of chickens.
Yeah, she
That's
has
nice.
a couple chickens.
That's
They free roam too. She don't like lock them up. They free roam her yard. And,
I know those things are probably.
they were so good. They were so delicious. I was so amazed. I never tasted it. It tasted nutritious.
Yeah.
Like it tasted so good. I'm like, wow, just the difference is insane. And I would have never thought that I'd just eat a chicken egg like that. Like, I don't know.
She said fresh out the chicken.
It was fresh out the chicken. My mom was like, oh, she just laid an egg. And she gives me I think it was 8 eggs, and I took them home, and my son mostly eats eggs, so I'm like, I'm gonna make him some, and they just, when I cracked them, even the color of them were so much more vibrant.
Right, it's not that bright yellow how you see in the store.
Yes, it was like a
dark.
golden orange, and they smelled good. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it, and I tried it, and I was like, yeah, this changed my life. It definitely did.
Let's go. She said this changed my life. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes a long way. And it's funny because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had organic milk, fresh milk, so much better. I was drinking 2% my whole life, with fresh organic milk. Totally different. It actually tastes creamy. Now you see where ice cream comes from. It tastes really creamy.
I have to try that because I don't really drink milk.
It's so good.
I drink almond milk if I do drink milk,
Okay.
and then again I barely even drink that. So I like buttermilk.
Okay. You should try some organic.
I'll have to.
But, like, it's good.
Do you have any brands you recommend?
Yeah, I like we carry A2 milk. So it's like cows either carry an A1 or an A2 protein. The A2 is supposed to be a lot easier. You know, there's a lot of people that's lactose intolerant and have an allergy to it. A2 is supposed to be way easier to digest and just more healthy overall for you.
Okay.
So I recommend that one. We carry that in the store, A2 milk. And then just like even like any, if you go to Meijer, they have their organic brand of milk. It's pretty solid.
Okay. I don't always trust the grocery stores when they say organic.
You should.
I'm not gonna lie. So I just like, I just look. Sometimes if they show you like who the producer is on the package, I like look at that.
Yeah, it's a lot of mind games they play in the grocery store. I definitely don't mess with that. That's one of the things we teach. We're about to teach in our program coming up is the deception of food labels, and I'm sure you know what like the sugar-free, fat-free, all that stuff is capped a lot of times. I really got to see this last December. I was in Japan, and I got to go to their stores, and I mean, the difference. First of all, you can see it in the people. Like, you really don't see like an overweight person there. Like, to be real with you, I didn't see one person like. No, and this is no offense to nobody, but you know how out here you see.
Yeah, America has an obesity problem.
Thank you. That's a great way to
I'll
say
say
it.
it.
Straight up, and it's real. So out there, you don't see people that are obese, and I'm talking about like I was eating food from the gas station. Like you would never catch. It might sound funny, but like you would never catch me eating a sandwich from any gas station out here. Like.
You don't know when they made it.
Ever. You know what I'm saying? For real. You would never see me doing that. Over there, I'm talking about they got like egg salad sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, whatever. Like they got sushi at the gas station and it's fresh, flavorful. Something you would pay for at a restaurant out here, like they just have sitting in the gas station, like, and it's so good. But just their whole food system over there is way more focused on nutrition, being fresh, being straight from the farm. And so yeah, going over there really showed me like, okay, we got a lot of work to do in America, like for real. Like it was opposite. It's wild.
That's great for the difference.
It is. It's great.
Well, I appreciate you for giving me some insight, for real. And I do appreciate you sitting here. Let me ask you some questions and try to get to know you and your businesses a little bit better.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being a part of my spotlight.
For sure. Yeah, anytime.
Again, I would like to thank everybody who's made it this far in the video. I'd also like to thank everybody who has participated. I hope that these stories are inspiring people and getting everyone excited to follow their dreams and do the things that they want to do in life, and know that it's not impossible. It just takes time, it takes effort, and it also takes dedication. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more of my videos. I'll be posting more with us soon, and thank you so much.